Hello. For those who normally watch my channel, this is a break from normal viewing, but it's because I've been dealing with a small issue at work, and came up as the best medium for how to pass this video on. So today I'm going to be talking about one of the jobs I do, which is SASC, the Science, Engineering, Computing Schools Academic Success Centre. Yes, I'm not here in my guise as naval historian or even history of engineering lecturer. I'm here in my guise as academic skills tutor and person who tries to explain how to write essays and reports to poor engineering students who really just want to do maths. And we do many things. So, how much overdue? Oh, and one thing before we get in, I have tried to make this as jolly a session as I can. It's supposed to only to be 10 minutes. It'll probably be longer than 10 minutes. And I have used some comics from phdcomics.com. I've used them. I haven't asked permission, but I hope they don't mind, because this is going to be for some students, and they really are the best comics for illustrating the life in academia. And I thought they wouldn't mind me using it to make some engineers happy for a day. Right, so first slide. Now, keywords to remember for writing. Content. Is there an appropriate amount of information? Okay, is it what you are fitting in there and the correct amount of information, and is it the viable amount of information? You don't want too much, you don't want too little, because you get marks for analysis, which is a critical thing at university. So if you put in too much information, you can't actually get enough marks for analysis, because you can't spend enough time analyzing the information to get those analysis marks. So you've always got to be careful, am I putting in too much? So just think, 1 sentence of evidence for every 2 sentences of analysis. That's a rough guide. It's not always going to be that way. Sometimes you're going to be adding in context and all sorts of things. So it's not 100% always that way, but that's a good guide to start thinking of, especially when you're starting out. Reference. Has the information used been sourced from reliable tools? Please consider the beginning. I'm using PhD comics, and therefore I have mentioned them. Okay? I have referenced and said they are a reliable tool. I have actually got their books. They're written by a physicist. There's some excellent information there. Lots of scientists involved in them. They're great comics. Presentation, does it look professional? Well, currently today I am wearing a t-shirt, so probably not as professional as it normally be, and this is filmed in my bedroom. But there are worse places it could be done, and we're in lockdown. Style, does it read well? Honestly, please think about the reader when you're writing these things. Think it has got to be read by someone, often me. Ethics, the right thing to do. Best practice, the correct thing to do. Sometimes, technically, something is ethically correct because it's legal, i.e. tax avoidance. Because you're losing a loophole, it's technically not illegal. However, if you're a local businessman, that's not probably going to cause you much trouble, because you're not going to heat up. But if you're a politician or a celebrity, especially one who likes to go around telling people how to live their lives, best practice would be not to do it, because you're going to look like a It's the same with writing. Okay, ethically, something might be if you've done some research, someone might have said something in an interview which they've got incorrect. They might have been out by a couple of points. Now, you can pick that up, you can comment on it, you can basically take them to the cleaners, or you can call them for a clarification. Now, in the nicest way, if someone has been kind enough to give you an interview and you're a university student, and you are not a journalist trying to pick them up in the first place, you're an academic doing research, it's always good and probably best practice to give them the option to check if they meant to say that particular fact incorrectly or if they misspoke. Why is it best practice? Well, whilst ethically you could be correct in publishing it because they have said it on the record and you have got the proof and all these things that I'm saying it, best practice means, you know, you want to, it's, you're going to look less like a if you do that. Okay? So, next slide. Planning. Yeah, this is pretty much all my students. I love you all, but this is you. Next slide. So, planning. Read the question. Okay? We have gone to the trouble of setting a question. It is not a mere starting point. It is not something which you can sort of consider and then go, you know what, I really want to reinterpret this. It is not something which is open to debate. It is the question which has been set, for which there has been a mark scheme agreed, for which there are going to be lots of markers marking. So if you go off and answer something completely off the topic and don't answer the question, you can't then come round to us and go, but I did really good research. Well, yes, you did, but you didn't answer the question. So put together a rough plan before you doing your research. Do this. This is a critical thing. You want to do this because if you put together a rough plan first, you are far more likely, and this is a key one, you are far more likely to get a manageable amount of information. If you dive straight into research without having a rough plan, the odds are you'll find book after book after book after book, journal article after journal article, all these things. Everything will be found. And you'll dig it all up, and it's brilliant. And you've got tons and tons of information. And then you'll go, what am I going to do with this? So please, rough plan first, then research. Go with the ideas in your head, you know, basically. Find a key text, consult module guide, subject librarian about which is best. The university, Kingston, and I'm sure many other universities are blessed with some excellent subject librarians. Make use of them. They are the specialists. What they don't know isn't worth knowing about finding books and key texts and information in their topic areas. If you don't make use of them, then you're missing a trick. Use key text and rough plan, put together a better plan. Your first plan will be terrible. It's a rough plan. It's a first draft of a plan. It's not expected to be spectacular. But using a key text, using that, come up with a better plan, then gather more sources, and then write. Okay? That is the easiest way to go around the process of putting an essay together. Yes, again, frankly, I could try and sum this up in a conversation, but this puts it out the best. What we think is how it's supposed to work. That's how it usually works is the other way. I know. I'm in the middle of writing. Well, not in the middle. I'm almost at the end of putting the finishing touches on a book, and I'm doing all sorts of other projects, and it's the same for me. And I've been doing this for years. I write far more than pretty much anyone else I know does, and yeah, it's the same for me. Next slide. So how to structure a paragraph. Seal. You've heard of many, many systems. Let me introduce you to the root. Seal, statement, evidence, analysis, link. Okay, statement tells me what the paragraph is about. Evidence. It's the content which you need. Analysis. How does the evidence relate to the question? How does the evidence relate to your argument? Let me give you a clue. If these two things are different in more than one paragraph in a row, you have gone off topic. Okay? Sometimes you'll add, how does the evidence fit in context? This is far more likely to be put in an essay than in a report. A report, you'll stick to the first two. In an essay, especially a dissertation, you start putting things into context, i.e. compare to this, compare to that. And then link to the next paragraph. Analysis is, how does the evidence relate to the question, which is probably going to be the title of the work. If you link back to the question at the end of every paragraph and then jump into a new paragraph, it is like falling down a set of stairs for the reader. It is painful, because it's not just your essay I'll have to read like it, it'll probably be another couple of hundred others. So please, do me a favour. Do all your markers a favour. Link to the next paragraph, because it's a nice, smooth flow then. And you know what happens then? Because it's smooth, we read through quicker. And if we read through quicker, then what will happen, and this is critical, we'll probably give you more marks. Because if we read through something more quickly, we are less likely to notice mistakes. So, make it easy, make it smooth. Link. Next slide. Advising. What we do. You see, the whole point of this is if you come to SASC, we're less busy because we're mostly contract lecturers and staff, so we have more free time. Our hours are actually there to sit there and listen to you, to read through your essays, and read through your reports and read through everything else. Next slide. So what we'll do, comment on structure, comment on spelling and grammar, discuss the presentation of the work, and content, remember, is the purview of your tutor module lecturer. The only ones I will provide content advice on is history of engineering. And then usually the content advice will be, which all my students know what means. Next slide. The library will teach you how to reference. One of SASC's many roles, though, is when to reference. There is a difference between the two. Not much. The library will teach both, but we will just teach when to reference. Because the library are your specialists. And again, always consult the library. They're the ones who set up the referencing standards and everything else for your subjects. If you're not sure, and you should always not be sure about referencing, because again, I've got a PhD, I'm a historian, I spend half my life writing, and I still go to Karen O'Farrell, particularly, the subject librarian for engineering, and ask her to check my referencing. Because I do it as something, as a skill, she does it as an art. I know possibly 90% of the time what I need to do. She knows 100% of the time. So all those little fiddly bits which I might get confused, she'll work it out on. So for you, she's amazing. Now, the question I get asked more often than not, how many references do I need to include? If it's a fact, a figure, or a quote. If it's a fact, a figure, or a quote, or you are summarizing someone's argument, then I need a reference in the sentence, not at the end of the paragraph, not at the end of the essay, in the sentence. I need to know where you got that information from. And if it's a specific, i.e., 5 million barrels of crude oil or something like that, or a specific quote, I need a page number, because I'm not going to search for a whole book for you. Again, I love my students dearly, but I'm not searching a whole book for every single student to find the reference they have. It will just get a red line through. Actually, no, it's not a red line now. It's turn it in. So turn it in will just put red on it. Just be nice to us. Put in the reference, put in the page number. And as I said, if you're not sure how to reference, go to the library. Next slide. So, SEC Academic Success Centre, the virtual drop-ins. I run the virtual drop-ins, and it's run through MS Teams at the moment. So there should be a link somewhere around on the Canvas module that you can sign up to it. And every Tuesday, 2 till 4, I sit on here and chat away and go, hello, what's the problem? And you get to tell me ask me questions. Remember, there can be hundreds of you on at the same time, so please mute your mic if you're not speaking and wait till person's finished, and then or if you want to, send them a question via the chat function and I'll read it out and I'll answer it. I'm quite good at that now. Plus, every weekday, the Canvas module is monitored by either me, Alex, if you didn't all realize. I'm Mondays and Tuesdays. I usually monitor it roughly 10 till 6, but sometimes I mix my times up. If I log in earlier in the morning and I see a whole load waiting for me, I'll start then. And if I get nothing early in the morning, I'll go a bit later just in case anyone responds in. And I do that Mondays and Tuesdays. Simon runs Thursdays. Emma is Wednesdays and Fridays. So, that's the three of us. Every day, weekday of the week is covered. One of us is sitting on the Canvas module. We might not respond immediately because we might not be sitting staring at the computer screen just waiting for it to flash up, but we will respond as soon as we can. And in answer to the other popular question, the reason you're given a grade of 0 is we can't return the marks to you without giving you a grade. As we're not allowed to grade works, we have to give you a 0. That doesn't mean your work is terrible or is useless or anything of the other things which I received in an email the other day. It just is the only mark we're allowed to give when you submit to Canvas. So there's a Canvas module called SASC, and in that you can upload assignments and we will read them through. Right, I hope that's helped. Take care, have a nice day, and hope to see you on Tuesdays.